step away, I'm just a breath away, losing my faith today.
Falling off the edge today.
I am just a man, not superhuman.
I'm not superhuman.
Someone save me from the hate. It's just another war.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, it is the finale here at Atlanta Motor Speedway, and we are down to it here for today's event, for the 40th and last race of the season. It is the running of the Napa Know-How 500. Yeah, it is the Napa Know-How 500, and we are set for 33 laps to decide it all in season 16, or season 15 rather. 16 will be coming up later on in the year, but anyway. And the points battle going into this race at Atlanta could be simply put for Charles Sanford, almost, and I say almost, a certain, except he has got two drivers that can take the championship away from him. That would be Kyle Matthews and Jessica Shelton. That has a mathematical possibility of taking the championship from Charles Sanford this season. Matthews comes into this race 31 points behind Sanford in the points, and Shelton comes in 35 points behind. The most you can gain in a race is 40 points, I believe. That's the most you can gain in a race in this series. And I think there's a fourth one that's still in contention as well, even though he is only 38 back. He's 38 point, even though he is 37 point. No, he's 38 points back, excuse me. That would be Charles Sanford, Charles Sanford is actually 38 points ahead of Joshua Collard, who is fourth in the points chase. Shelton, I made a mistake, is 36 points behind Sanford as they came in. So Matthews, Shelton, and Collard both have a shot of taking the championship away from Charles Sanford, but it would take basically a miracle to do so. So we'll see what happens here today at Atlanta Motor Speedway. So with that all said, let's get the starting line for today's running of this event. On the pole at 210 miles an hour, it is Marty Johnson, the Daytona 500 champ, on the pole for today's event in the Family Channel 4, car number 16. He'll be alongside the number 5 Kellogg's Cornflakes Chevrolet. Rockingham winner Andrew Perry, he's alongside. He's been, as I said, the star of the second half of the season for sure in that number 5 Kellogg's Cornflakes Chevrolet. Jeremy Jones is the inside of the road number 2, I think. Yeah. Road 2, it is Jeremy Jones in the number 18 Interstate Battery Chevrolet. He won the season at the second race at Dover, and he also won earlier at Las Vegas this season. He'll be alongside two-time winner of the season, JT Bryant, winner of the first Talladega event and the Pepsi 400 at Daytona, both on the plate tracks. Then it's Matt Dalio, who won the last stop in the Tour at Homestead Miami Speedway, the Valvoline Ford, car number 6. And beside him, Levi Shones, the number 01 U.S. Army Pontiac, came oh so close to winning at Homestead, the last stop in the Tour. Zachary Fitzwater in the Sprint PCS Chevrolet, car 45 is the inside of the fourth row, I believe, yeah. He'll be alongside Texas winner Dalton Day in the 20 Home Depot Pontiac. Charles Sanford, the championship leader in the DuPont Chevrolet car 24, has the inside of the fifth row. He won the season at Kentucky, Sonoma, and the night race at Bristol this season. He'll be alongside Kev Shearer, the winner of the second race at North Wilkesboro, the Tide Pontiac car 32. He comes in this race 8th in the standings. Then it's Zach Flickinger, the number 33 Skull Bandit Chevrolet, the winner of the second Martinsville event. He's 5th in the points coming in. And James Richardson, the number 12 and the number 35 Tabasco Hot Sauce Pontiac. He is actually the 4th in the rookie standings coming in. Then it's Levi McIntyre for Rockin' Wrestling Racing, the SKF Ford car 99, the winner at Kansas this season. He'll be alongside the winner of the night race, the winner of the day race at Bristol, the Food City 500. It's Dylan Young, the number 2 Miller Genuine Draft Ford. Then it's Chris Dodd, the number 4 Kodak Film Chevrolet, and beside him, Dallas McIntosh in the number 8 Budweiser Chevrolet. Here's the command to fire him up here at Atlanta.
Gentlemen, start your engine!
The command is beginning for the last points time in season 15. Actually, we'll have one race after this. That would be the Suzuka Thunder 100. And I'll explain, and of course when we get there, I'll explain to you how the race will be lined up. There is Jessica Shelton, the number 9 car. She's starting, her and Matthews both starting a little bit back in the field. Well, it all comes down to 33 laps of racing here at Atlanta Motor Speedway, the Napa Know-How 500. About to get underway. Marty Johnson will lead him down in car number 16, a Ford Chevy front row. And the green flag waves for the last time this season. We are underway. Last time for a points paying event, I should say. Jeremy Jones, car 18 to the inside, looking to the inside of Marty Johnson for the lead. And that 18 cars has some great history at Atlanta Motor Speedway with Bobby Labonte behind the wheel. Seemed like every time that car hit the track, though, it was always strong in Atlanta, and it's continuing on in our competition. Whoa, that was a close race for the first lap. And it was Jones by about a hundredth of a second, actually, is what it was said on the order. Matt Dalio going in second position now as they go into the third turn. Zachary Fitzwater, there's Sanford moving his way up to the field. Car number 24 up to the 4th spot now over Marty Johnson. Points, as I always will, be distributed at the end of this video. And I will give you kind of a rundown of how the season ended up. Charles Sanford, car 24. We have in-car cameras in all 3 of our championship contenders. Sanford to the inside, he will take the lead as they go down the backstretch. You're with him as it happens. But Zach Flickinger, we see him in the rearview mirror along with Levi McIntyre. Sanford shoved him to the high side now as Flickinger takes the lead, car 33. Right now, Flickinger and McIntyre looking for the lead themselves in the 99 and the 33 cars. Averaging just over 200 miles per hour. At the end of 5 laps of this race here, Chris Dodd going to the lead. Nick with Luis Hernandez, Dalton Day, Joseph Romero, who won at South Boston this season, and then right behind him another good wrench car, Zach Rogers, who won the first race at Dover this season. And there's another one of our surprise winners, Ryan George, who won the All-Star race at Charlotte this season in the Pennzoil Pontiac. Quentin Moore going up the track now as they at the track, but almost had a 3-wide situation there. And there's Seth Cole running right behind Jessica Shelton in the number 9 Dodge Dealers Dodge. She won at Martinsville this season. You're on board with Jessica. Running right behind Stephanie Gardner, the 26 Cheerios car. That'll be the last race with this car. That'll be the last race of this car. Go back to this one. Shelton right now running in the 7th position at the moment. Joseph Romero up the racetrack in the 29 car, 70 about ready to pass him. As as Ryan George now goes to the lead, taking the lead from Zach Rogers in the 3 car. JT Bryant is up there. He's in the he is actually 9th in the standings coming in. He's actually 2nd behind Rogers in the rookie standings, and that battle separated by just 22 points. So Rogers, who is the early favorite to win Rookie of the Year this season, may be on his way to doing so this season. Who knows? But after this race, Kyle Matthews running right now in the 16th position. There's another one of those that could take the championship from Sanford, and so can the 43 car, Joshua Collard. As I said, though, it's going to be a situation where Shelton, Sanford, or Shelton, Matthews, or Collard's going to have to win the race, and Charles Sanford would have to finish way back in the back. And if one of those 3 wins this race, in Matthews' case, if he wins the race, Sanford will have to finish. Let's see, Matthews, as I said, is 31 points back. Sanford will have to finish no worse than 30. Will have to finish no worse than 32nd, I believe. No worse than 31st, excuse me, because if he finishes 32nd, actually it would be a tie. But Matthews would win the championship by virtue of a tiebreaker of more wins, because he has 4 to Sanford's 3. And if Shelton wins, and Sanford will have to finish, and if Shelton wins the race there, then she'll have to finish about 5 spots ahead of Matthews, and Sanford will have to be about 37th or so. Just to give you a few points situations here, but there's still a long way to determine that. There, William Bedford and Joshua Osborne going at it for position now. Osborne will take the lead out of turn number 2, and Noah Carr shoving him. Osborne won this season at North Wilkesboro in the First Union 400, the first visit there. And Shelton now stuck in the middle of the racetrack there, and here comes Collard now for the lead. Or not for the lead, actually, listen to me. Collard actually going for the 3rd spot now in Osborne in a STP Dodge. And Collard will still be in that 43 car next season for season 16 as a Pontiac. Running right alongside his Petty Enterprises teammate Noah Carr's. 3-car team and 3 different manufacturers: a Dodge, a Chevrolet, and a Pontiac. That's kind of an oddball combination, but they kind of made it work this season. In spite the bad season so far that Fitzwater and Noah Carr's had, even though Noah Carr's had actually moved his way up to 21st in the points, believe it or not. That's the highest he's ever been this season. And we're just about halfway home in Atlanta already, 16 in the books. And of this 33-lap event, Michael Turner, who has had a horrific season so far in an 88 Ford Quality Care machine. That's the Dale Jarrett colors he's driving. And the same can be called for this man here. There, that is John Arndt. Now, John Arndt, though, he's not really going to reach his goal, as he said, to win the last car championship, as he kind of called it. But if you don't know what the last car is, though, that's the column written by Brock Beard, who you remember did the starting lineups for every NASCAR Sprint Cup event a few years back, and he did an article on a person, on any man or woman who finished dead last in a race, and the reason why he or she did. So, so I don't know if that should be a column of I don't know if it should be a column of shame or what, but anyway, still, John Arndt, though, he's not going to do he's not going to win the last car championship, though, at least, but he is running in 36 in the points chase going in. But you know, the man who actually is last in the points, Andrew Perry, who didn't really start till the race at Kansas Speedway this season, he is actually going for 3rd spot right now, and now trying to draft off of Arndt to take the number 1 spot. And look who's behind Andrew Perry. It's Kyle Matthews, car 42 to trying to make his way to the championship contention right now. And let's check see where Charles Sanford is running right now. Sanford running in the 35th position. So right now, Matthews is actually 32 spots ahead of Sanford at the moment. But now it depends, of course, on if Sanford's on the high side or on the low side or not. And the yellow flag has waved as you're on board with Kyle Matthews. Oh, and it's Johnny Gardner. 28 has crashed. Seth Cole's crashed. Ryan George. Quentin Moore. Cooper Cyron. Oh, Chris Dodd. Car number 4. He's crashed. Jesse Turner. Caution number 1 coming out with 12 laps to go here at the Atlanta Motor Speedway. And all 3 of our championship contenders got through fine. Yep, Gardner hooks the back of Jesse Turner's car. Off in the 3rd turn they go. Turner goes back down the track. Ah! Turner hit Shelton! Turner actually hit Jessica Shelton in the 9 car and collected Seth Cole as well. And boy, Charles Sanford had to be a lucky guy because he almost was in that crash. Cooper Cyron in the 11 car. On there's where the 2nd crash happened. Chris Dodd. And Sanford, I think, might have... I don't know if he got damage or not on his car. Sanford barely was caught up in the whole deal, but I don't think he had any damage in his car. He was sideways for all kinds of a bit there. JT Bryant was in the crash. Let's see what happened there. Ryan George, I think Ryan George might have been the one that caused the 2nd crash. Chris Dodd leaned up on Joseph Romero. Yep. Ryan George got loose with there. JT Bryant comes across the nose of Sanford's car, so Sanford's got a little bit of a hood wrinkle, but not quite enough to, I think, to mess him up. But Quentin Moore, the 21, he got caught up in the whole deal, and Ryan George, who actually had some good runs late in the season. Whew, Ryan Madden, field goal, 3 points. So 2 separate incidents happening to cause yellow flag number 1 to come out on lap number 22 of this race. So right now, Charles Sanford will be running 27th at the moment, and Shelton running in 32nd. So right now, Charles is still in the good of getting that championship for season 15, but anything can happen in these final. Anything can happen as we'll restart this race on lap number 26. So we'll have 8 laps to go in this race. So anything can happen in 8 laps. Let's reset the field for you. Andrew Perry is the leader of the race. 2nd is John Arndt. 3rd, Kyle Matthews. 4th is Trent Dunham. He's having a solid run here today. Trent came in this race 10th in the standings. Corey Williams in 5th. 6th is Zach Austin. 7th, Levi McIntyre. Nicholas Romero 8th. Dylan Poteet in 9th position. And 10th is Zach Flickinger. The green flag is about to wave for the race start here on lap 26 of the Napa Know-How 500. And we will have 8 laps of racing to go in season 15. As I said, don't forget the Suzuka Thunder 100 will actually be after this event. And I'll go ahead and explain the format there. The Suzuka Thunder 100, who will determined by the point standings, though. I mean, if you actually finish in the top 22, I think. Yeah, the top 21 in the field. If you finish in the top 21 in the points chase, you will be in the first heat, and then if you finish in the bottom half of the field, you'll be in the second heat, and the top 10 from each heat will be in the main event of the Suzuka Thunder 100 to determine the overall winner. So that's going to be how that event will be played out. John Arndt now has the lead in the number 19 car, but look at Kyle Mendes driving his brains out trying to get to the lead, and trying to get to the lead, and maybe hopes for him, not wishing any bad luck on anybody, but hopes for him that Charles Sanford slides back just a bit. That's what's going to have to happen for Matthews to win this championship, though. But Sanford right now running in the 27th position. Matthews into the lead now, car 42. We'll keep an eye on where Charles is running right now, as far as points contending-wise. Coming down for 5 laps to go, rather. Zach Austin moving him up the track, though. Zach Austin, car 23, he'll take the lead. He's come so close to winning a few races this season, especially on the restrictor plate tracks at Daytona and Talladega. And here comes Levi McIntyre. He wants his second win of the season. He won at Kansas this season. He struggled much of the second half of the year. Actually got up as far as the top 10 in the point chase at one time this season, but now he's slid back to going into this race 22nd in points. John Arndt is up there. Here comes Dylan Poteet, car 22. And the best news Charles Sanford can receive right now, Kyle Matthews sliding back a bit. 3 laps to go. John Arndt to the lead. He won the 600 at Charlotte this season. Poteet is up there. A couple of Dodges up in the field there. There's Zach Flickinger, the winner of the second race at Martinsville. Michael Turner, could he surprise and win this race? Car 88's up to the field now. 2 laps to go. Poteet now the leader. Trent Dunham trying to make his way through the field. Trent won a Southern 500 at Darlington this season. Corey Williams won at New Hampshire. All these guys getting themselves into position here. The white flag will be waving next time by. Flickinger to the lead. Car 33. Here comes Zach Flickinger to the lead. The white flag waves. 1 lap remaining. Who wins in Atlanta? Trent Dunham trying to close in. Can he catch and pass Flickinger? Out of the second turn. Dunham trying to close as they go in the third turn. Flickinger has a bit of a lead as they go off in the third and fourth turns now. The number 33 Skull Bandit Chevrolet rounds corner number 4. Zach Flickinger wins the Napa Know-How 500 in Atlanta. A great win for car number 33, Charles, here for Zach Flickinger as he takes home the title here today. Jesse Turner just up ahead of him. Flickinger wins the event title, and Charles Sanford runs in the back of Nicholas Romero and gets run in by the 71 of Ryan Madden. And JT Bryant wanted a little bit of Jessica Shelton there. But just as I was about to say, Charles Sanford is your season 15 champion. He's going to visit championship victory lane with a torn up race car. But he is indeed. Charles Sanford is your season 15 champion of the Castrol GTX Cup Series. As even though he finishes in 29th position in this race, but crazy way to win your championship, isn't it there? Average speed 163.572. Zach Flickinger's your winner of the race. Trent Dunham will come home second. A great run for him. Corey Williams, he surprise finish here today, coming in 3rd spot. 4th was Zach Austin. 5th place will go to Dylan Poteet. 6th was Dylan Young. 7th was Michael Turner. Kyle Matthews will finish 8th. 9th position will be John Arndt. 10th was Stephanie Gardner. 11th was Levi McIntyre. Then Andrew Perry caps off a tremendous second half of the season ever since starting at Kansas, and finishes in the 12th spot here. So I think Andrew should earn over 300 points, I believe. I think Andrew's going to earn over 300 points in 9 and 10 races he's run. That's tremendous here. Even though he will start last for the Suzuka Thunder 100, obviously because he didn't start till Kansas, the 31st race of the season. Dallas McIntosh will come on 13th, a solid run for him. 14th, Levi Shones. Marty Johnson, the pole sitter, 15th. Has been shut out since his win of the Daytona 500 this season. Nicholas Romero, 16th. 17th, Kev Shearer. 18th, Jeremy Jones. 19th, Joshua Collard. Joshua Osborne comes home in 20th, so the Joshuas finish right together in this race. Collard in 19th, Osborne in 20th. Even though they're from separate parts of the country, Osborne from Kentucky and Collard from way over in the UK. James Richardson in 21st, 22nd is Flickinger, or Zachary Fitzwater rather, finishing in 22nd. Flickinger won the race, listen to me. Zach Rogers 23rd, 24th was William Bedford, Matt Dalio 25th, 26th Noah Cars, 27th Luis Hernandez, Joseph Romero 28th. Charles Sanford, your season champion, comes on 29th. That was basically all he needed, though, to win the championship, was to finish basically no worse than in the 30s. That was provided, of course, if Matthews or Shelton could have won the race, but Matthews looked like he was going to, but got shuffled back late in the going. 30th was Ryan Madden. 31st, William Brock. 32nd, Dalton Day. 33rd, Jessica Shelton. The Atlanta curse basically continues for her. Unfortunately for Jessica. Cooper Cyron, 34th. 35th, JT Bryant. 36th, Quentin Moore. Jesse Turner, 37th. 38th, Chris Dodd. 39th, Ryan George, with a header problem that knocked him out of the race. Chris Dodd had an ignition problem, but for all intents and purposes, they're both engine failures on their part. Seth Cole got caught up in a crash. He comes on 40th. And Johnny Gardner had a camshaft problem that knocks him to dead last. And a heartbreaker really for Johnny Gardner, because he had been top 10 all season long in the points, and just basically got screwed out of that in the late going, so in the points. But he was actually as far as about 6th place in the points coming into the last 10 races of the season. He was 15. He was 16th in the points coming in. But we'll give you the full points rundown at the end of this, after this, and at the end of this video. So again, our congratulations to Zach Flickinger, your winner of the Napa Know-How 500, and Charles Sanford, your champion of the Castrol GTX Cup Series for season 15. So the points rundown is coming up next. So here you are. So we're back here from the Atlanta Motor Speedway, and this is the final points of the Castrol GTX Cup Series. And as expected, and as I said, Charles Sanford is your champion for the season here by a 10-point margin over Kyle Matthews, as in what was a kind of an edge of your seat battle, sort of, if you can call it that, points wise. But yes, Sanford did what he needed to do, and that was to simply finish no more than 32 positions behind Matthews, or 31 positions behind Matthews. He was 31 points ahead coming into this race, so if they would have tied for the points, so Matthews would have been the champ because he had one more win than Sanford, but that did not come down to that. So here's the kind of the mini awards banquet per se for this here. Charles Sanford's your champion. He won 3 times this season, winning at Sonoma, then he won at Kentucky, then he won the night race at Bristol this season. So a big turnaround from last season when he was 26th in the standings at the end of the last season. So ditching that NASCAR 2000 scheme basically was what did the trick, and going back to the rainbow cars that I originally planned for season 14, I might add. So Charles is your champ this season, and so that makes it, I believe, I don't know how many different champions we had though, but anyway, Kyle Matthews, he is up second place in the points chase. In the points chase, that bad run at Homestead basically is what cost him the shot at the championship. But he did have 4 wins on the season. He won the 3. He won the hat. He pulled off the hat trick, winning at the second Pocono event, winning at Indianapolis in the Brickyard 400, and he won at Watkins Glen this season. And he won his 4th race of the season at Phoenix, Arizona, which basically did put him back in the championship contention. But after that bad run, as I said, at Homestead, cost him the shot at the points. There was a shuffle that went on 3rd, 4th, and 5th, though. Joshua Collard ends up 3rd place in the points chase with his 3 wins on the season, winning at Riverside, California Speedway, and at Chicagoland. And that was a heck of a battle between Zach Flickinger, and Jessica Shelton. Shelton, who came in 3rd place in the points at Atlanta, dropped down to 5th, but she had that lone win the season at she had the lone win on the season at Martinsville, Virginia, the first race at Martinsville. And the winner of that second Martinsville event, along with that winner of this race at Atlanta, Zach Flickinger, solidified a top 5 spot. He ends up 4th place in the points chase with the 2 wins at the second Martinsville and this race here at Atlanta Motor Speedway, the second Atlanta, I might add. So that was your top 5 in the standings. The top 5 separated by 40 points. A great championship battle, I might add, in the season. Shelton, unfortunately for her, had the points lead, but she had the bad run at Rockingham, and that cost her the shot to keep in the lead, let alone battling for the championship. But still a great season for Jessica nonetheless. She keeps her streak of top 5 points finishes alive. So great season for the top 5 in the points chase. A great comeback season, I might add. The comeback story of the season, I will say, is the 6th place in the points, Kev Shearer. If you remember, in season 13, he was dead last in the points, had a car that consistently finished back in the back. But Kev comes back from all that in season 13, does not run 14, but this season he makes a comeback, wins at North Wilkesboro, the second North Wilkesboro race, the Holly Farms 400, and consistently good runs, vaulted him up to number 6 in the points. So Kev Shearer gets his first ever top 10 points finish in the Castrol GTX Cup Series. So a great season for him, for all intents and purposes, and he just barely passed Zach Rogers and Seth Cole for position there. Seth Cole comes home 7th. He won the 1 race this season at the NASCAR on Speed 500 at Charlotte. We're better to win your only race, though, however. And Zach Rogers, not only comes home 8th in the points chase, but he also is the Castrol GTX Cup Series Rookie of the Year. By finishing the highest among the rookies in the points. So Zach Rogers is the Rookie of the Year for season 15. An excellent season for him. He won at Dover, the first Dover race this season, and he consistently had good runs in the Dale Earnhardt colors. 9th place in the points goes to the Southern 500 winner for Sega Motorsports, Trent Dunham, who vaulted his way back up to the top 10 in points chase after the next to the last stop at Homestead Miami Speedway. He won at Darlington this season in the Southern 500, as I said before. Came close to a couple of wins prior to that, before that, and after too. And how about a comeback 10th place Dylan Poteet by finishing 5th at Atlanta, vaulted him up to the top 10 in the points chase for the only time this season, I might add. 10th place for Dylan Poteet. He won twice this season at the first Michigan event, and he won at the second Richmond event. So the season 1 champ of the Castrol GTX Cup Series is a 10th place finisher this season, and looks for more success if he chooses to come back next season. 11th place in the points, the second highest rookie in the points chase, James Richardson. Had a solid season all season long, I might add. 11th place in the points chase, did not win a race, but still a good race season for him. and I think he'll be a force to be reckoned with next season as well. Matt Dalio, who was basically quietly in the top 20 all season long with the Martin Valvoline colors, he actually won the next to the last stop at Homestead Miami Speedway for his first career victory, and he comes home a pretty good 12th place in the standings, even though he was 3rd place in the rookie standings, and 4th place in the rookie standings is 13th in the points, JT Bryant, and his 2 wins came both on the plate tracks at Daytona in the Pepsi 400, and he won the Aaron's 499 at Talladega this season. So JT with a great 13th place finish in the points chase, actually tied for 13th with Joshua Osborne, who had 1 win this season at the First Union 400 at North Wilkesboro. But because Bryant won 1 more race than Osborne did, he finishes ahead of Osborne in the points chase, 13th. Osborne comes home in 14th. So a good season for both drivers. Osborne was the Season 2 champ of the series, by the way, as well. Levi Shones comes home a 15th place finish in the points chase. He came so close to winning 2 races this season. Came close to winning the first Richmond event, and he came close to winning the Homestead race as well. But Shones ends up with a top 15 points finish this season. Zach Austin had a great points finish himself too, finishing in 16th place in the points chase. He came close to winning a few races this season as well, especially on all 4 of the plate races this season. He came close to winning all 4 of them, but as I say, close only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades. But Austin comes home 16th place in the points. Jeremy Jones, 17th in the standings, a great season for him, winning twice this season at Las Vegas on a final lap pass, and he also pulled off the win at Dover, the second Dover event this season. Sorry for the blinks. Sorry for this video blinking, by the way. I'm putting this video on a loop on Media Player. 18th in the points chase was William Bedford, 2-time winner this season at the first Atlanta event on the newer configuration Atlanta. So I guess he wished it was on the newer configuration this go-round, but he finished 18th in the points chase. Bedford also won the Pure Michigan 400 at Michigan Speedway. So a good season for Bedford, 18th in the standings. 19th, I guess you might say a heartbreaking 19th for Johnny Gardner, because he was top 10 all season long up until the last 10 races of the season, when that 28 car could not do anything right, basically. And unfortunately for Gardner, that dropped him down to the 19th in the standings, still in the top 20, but Gardner had a couple of should-have-won races and didn't, so he'll be back with that 28 ride next season with 3 different paint schemes for the Cup 90 mod. So Gardner, by the way, was the Season 8 champion of the series as well, but he... Yeah. 20th in the points was the winner of the first Pocono event, William Brock, who had a good first season himself, 20th place in the standings for him. 21st was Rockin' Wrestling Racing's Levi McIntyre in his comeback season in the Castrol GTX Cup Series with that number 99 car. He'll stick with that number 99 next season, by the way, with the Cup 90 mod with the 1996 paint scheme. McIntyre was the winner of 1 race this season that came at Kansas Speedway. So a great comeback season for McIntyre as well. 22nd in points was Dylan Young, kind of a feast or famine season for him. He did win 1 race this season that came at the Food City 500 at Bristol Motor Speedway. So Dylan will be back with that 2 ride next season. 23rd in the points was Noah Cars, who had he came close to winning a couple of races this season himself, but a good 23rd place finish for him. 24th in the points was the Daytona 500 champ, Marty Johnson. Not quite the 14th he had in the points chase last season, though, but you can bet he'll be back and ready to get at it again. Cooper Cyron, who was the winner of the first race at Darlington this season, he comes from 25th in the points. 26th was the winner of the first Richmond race, Quentin Moore. 27th was Jesse Turner in the points chase, no wins, and had a couple of good runs himself. But I'm sure he'll be wanting to do a whole lot better next season, I'm sure. Chris Dodd, who comes on 28th in the points chase, he was in the 30s for most of the season. Corey Williams, with that good run in Atlanta, came home in 29th position in the points chase. He did have a win last season that came at New Hampshire. It came at New Hampshire on a late race pass on Seth Cole to win that event. Nicholas Romero, who was a serious threat in the points early in the season, but a few subpar runs dropped him to 30th in the points chase. He did have a win in season 15 that came at the first race visit to Rockingham in the Goodwrench Service 400. Ryan George, who came oh so close to that win at South Boston Speedway, but he did get the All-Star win at Charlotte this season, but he ends up 31st in the points chase. Nothing to ride home about season for him. Stephanie Gardner, 32nd in the points chase. 33rd was Ryan Madden. He won a race this season at Talladega Super Speedway in the Amp Energy 500. So 3 different plate winners this season. Dallas McIntosh, who was way down near the basement all season long, he ends up 34th in the points chase. But he hopes to pull off a comeback this season, next season. John Arndt, who comes home 35th in the place in the points chase, so he did not get the last car championship, as he said, but he did move up a few spots, though, and John Arndt did win a race this season at the Coca-Cola 600 at Charlotte. So John Arndt, not quite skunked this season, but still a good run for him. Michael Turner had a disastrous season in that number 88 Dale Jarrett colors. He ends up 36th in the points chase. Joseph Romero, not quite skunked this season as well. He did win that exciting finish at South Boston Speedway for his first ever win, so Joseph ends up 37th in the points chase. Zachary Fitzwater, 38, came close to winning that race at Chicago, only to get snubbed by Joshua Collard. Dalton Day, don't let that 39th place finish fool you, because he did have a few good runs this season, including that crazy win he had at Texas Motor Speedway back in the first part of the season. So Dalton will be back with that 20 ride with the Rob Moroso colors next season. Luis Hernandez comes home 40th in the points chase. Austin LaPlante, who ran up until 30 races of the season, ends up 41st in the points chase. And Andrew Perry ends up 42nd, even though he did not join us. He did score over an impressive 309 points in spite not joining the season until about Kansas Speedway, the 31st stop on the tour, and he scored that win at Rockingham in the AC Delco 400. Came close to winning a couple of more races. He almost won at Phoenix as well as also almost winning the race at Homestead Miami Speedway. And I think if I calculate the standings correctly, if you combine LaPlante's points and Perry's points, let's see, they would have had, they would have had 805, they would have had 805 points, I believe, yeah. They would have had 805 points on the season. So if Andrew would have started the season off in that 41, if we'd have given him Austin LaPlante's cars that points that here, that 5 car actually would have been on a tie with Quentin Moore in the points chase in 26th. And they would have tied in the points chase. So I usually would put by alphabetical order, so Moore would still finish ahead, but Perry would actually have been in the top 30 in the points chase if we had given him Austin LaPlante's points on the season. But kind of wanted to be fair and not let Austin lose his points. But anyway, this will be the lineup, by the way, also for the exhibition, season-ending exhibition at Suzuka, at the Suzuka Road Course, which will be the Suzuka Thunder 100, the second annual running of the event. We did that in season 14. Thought we'd do it again in season 15 this season. Joshua Collard, by the way, was the defending champ of that race at Suzuka. So look and see where you're going to be at. So as far as the lineup is concerned, if you're in the top 21 in the points chase, you will be in the first heat. And if you're in the bottom 22nd to 41st in this case, actually, because Andrew Perry is actually 41st. We'll move Andrew Perry up to 41st since Austin LaPlante was out of that 5 ride, I should say. So if you're 22nd to where Andrew Perry's at, You'll be in the second heat, and the top 10 finishing positions from each heat will be in the Suzuka Thunder 100 main event. So the first 2 heats will be 10 laps, and the second heat will be 20, and the main event will be 20. So that all said, this has been a great season in the Castrol GTX Cup Series, 15 seasons strong and still going, hopefully, for much longer. And so congratulations again to Charles Sanford, his first Castrol GTX Cup Series championship, and I think first offline championships, I should say. Excuse me. Why is it off? It's offline, not online. Anyway, Charles Sanford is your first, wins the championship of the season, and a tremendous finish, and we hope to see, and we'll be back in season 16 with great racing to come, and then ever. So that all said, this is James Qualls, and this has been a production of the NNSCRA, celebrating 5 years of offline racing at its best.